Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you for joining me on my YouTube channel. So today, before I get into anything, I just want to let you guys know who I am. You know, you may be wondering who the fuck is this guy. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you who I am and what I've done. So my real name is Aldo Pablet. I produce under the artist name Heatscore, and I am the owner of Lazuli Records. Today I primarily write electronic music, a lot of techno, and a little bit of deep house. I've released on several record labels from around the world. One of my tracks from my label, Lazuli Records, was spotted by Tiesto, who played it on his podcast, number 656. And again, this was all done independently by my hard work and effort. So hopefully I shed a little bit of light on this industry, and I'm able to assist you guys in getting your careers further. I started a band off of high school. I was about 17, and from there we actually released several EPs and played tons of shows. We toured in the United States of America. We sold a shit ton of merch. Played sold out venues, played on some festivals, opened up for some bigger bands, all on the independent circuit. So all the shit that I'm going to be talking to you guys about on this channel, it's going to be stuff that's tried and tested by myself. I think an important aspect to consider when thinking about band versus solo artist is the reach. And a lot of people don't really think about this, but you know, when you have 5 guys in a band and you know you're trying to pack a gig, 20 people per member, that already gives you 100 people. Being a solo artist, especially if you're just starting out and you haven't really branded yourself, you don't really have much of a following or a fan base, it's gonna be really difficult to get your name out there. With a band, essentially, there's more hands on deck to do everything, all of the day-to-day promotions. And as you know, that's a ginormous part of the music industry. As a solo artist, you may feel that maybe sometimes there aren't enough hours in the day. At the end of the day, you are responsible for everything, right? You know, you have to write the material, you have to take care of all the business stuff, you have to take care of all the promotion. I thought this was important when I made my decision, and I think that when you're making a decision, you need to really consider your age. Typically speaking, hip-hop and the rap world and the metal world, even the rock world, it's a little bit younger band members, younger artists, younger crowd. So if you're a little bit older and you know you kind of miss that boat, it may not be a bad idea to consider being a music producer in the electronic music industry, where a lot of these guys are a lot older. You know, they're already in their 40s, in their 50s, and you know, it's not even a big deal. Logistics, and what I mean by that is when you're in a band, you got to get to the gig, right? You got to tour, and in order for you to tour, you got to bring your gear in, right? So a lot of people don't consider that. It could be rather expensive. And I remember one time we were playing a show in Wisconsin in the United States, and the venue, it was like on the 3rd floor, and these were ginormous steps, ginormous floors, and we had to carry all of our gear up 3 or might have been even 4 floors, and it was ridiculous. Where right now, you know, as a DJ, I just simply show up with my USB stick. Finances. Financially, being in a band, certain things are going to be a lot more affordable for you versus being a solo artist. I'm talking about things such as promotions, right? It's going to be a lot easier splitting these expenses with 5, if not more members, rather than just yourself. So just know that at times things are going to be really hard for you to obtain as a solo artist, especially when you're younger and you only have a part-time job. That's where being in a band, you guys can kind of pool together your money and make that work for you. However, it could also get more expensive being in a band. I mean, you got to consider getting the gear around, right? Where are you going to rehearse? We used to have to pay for a rehearsing studio. Being in Toronto, that wasn't cheap at all. Getting to the gigs, that was pretty expensive sometimes, especially if you don't have your own van. You got to rent the van, you got to rent the trailer. things can add up easily. Then when you get paid, you got to split that money between your members. So you got to kind of weigh in your options, right? As a solo artist, you're going to be receiving everything. Some things may be cheaper, but definitely promotion and things like that, you're going to have to dip into your own pocket. It's unfortunate, but being a solo artist, you are going to have certain financial limitations. So you got to make sure you keep that in mind. Profit sharing. You have to consider that when you're in a band, you're going to have to split, royalties, merch sales, live shows. You're pretty much going to have to split everything. That could cause arguments. So make sure that you prepare and draw up a contract, clearly indicating what is going to split, what percentage is going to go to each individual member. I read in an interview once that Skrillex said that there was too many chefs in the kitchen when he was, I think the band was called From First to Last. And, I think that a way that you can fix disputes is by early on, when you're forming the band, you need to have, one or two band leaders. And those need to be the main creative forces behind the band. That's a good way to avoid any sort of writing disputes. This could be debated, but creatively in a band, I feel that you're going to have a lot more creative options when dealing with a group of 4 to 5 people. There's going to be a lot more chef in the kitchen. Something really special could happen. There's some great bands that would have never have been if, those artists never got together. As a solo artist, there's one chef in the kitchen. The success of your music is all up to you, right? For myself personally, I have the mentality that if you work really hard, you can get ahead rather quickly as a solo artist. Being in a band, sometimes things got a little bit difficult. Creatively, it was good, but every time, let's say we had a member change, it really slowed us down. We had to teach them the songs, we had to rehearse the live show. Sometimes that held us back several months. That's something that you don't really have to worry about when you're a solo artist, especially when you're a music producer and DJ, right? I think most importantly, when I was traveling with my old band, not only did I get to travel and see a lot of places, I also got to make a lot of friends, build a lot of really special relationships, and, most importantly, we were able to make money to get to the next town, right? So I truly believe that as an independent artist, you could really make it work for you, but you just need to, know certain things and need to have a little bit of guidance, and hopefully that's where I come in for you guys.